Welcome to the award-winning Champions Mojo, hosted by two world record-holding athletes and health, life, and leadership coaches. And now, just the takeaways from your hosts, Kelly Pallas and Maria Parker.
Okay, Maria. So our takeaways from Benjamin Lo-Pinto, Olympian and now an All-American Masters swimmer, and of course, full-time, dad and working at an important job, professional. So, we got so much out of that. Like many times we have a few takeaways, but we have many, but we're only going to do two. What is your first one?
Well, I loved, he didn't say this directly, but it just came throughout the whole interview that he had clear priorities in his life from when he was young all the way till now. He mentioned in his family, it was always school before pool. He wasn't going to be allowed to swim. That was a clear, and family was also apparently very important growing up. They moved around a lot, so family was it. But he had his, the priorities were really clear in his family growing up, and his priority now is family before swimming. And as passionate as he is about swimming, and how he doesn't miss swim meets or swim practices, he will miss them for family. So I think one of the marks of a champion is knowing exactly, what your priorities are. I mean, you can't make decisions or say yes or no to things unless you know what your priorities are. So that was my first takeaway. What about you, Kelly?
Yeah, those are excellent ones. My first one is, in anything you're going into that you're going to be putting things on the line, that we asked him, hey, you're kind of preparing for your first meet in a long time, and you've now done, how are you preparing? He's like, well, I'm going to think that I've done the work. And I just love that. I love that basically anything that's making us kind of nervous about something that we're going to do, whether it's athletics or just in the real world, that if you've done the work, you're going to be okay.
Yeah, I like that. And, he also said he uses the butterflies, which I like that too, because we do experience butterflies. Like you can experience them as negative, but he's like, I like those. So that's cool.
I always feel like if you don't have butterflies, that
you've said that to me before.
Yeah. If you don't have butterflies, you're not going to have a good performance.
You don't care enough.
You don't care enough. Yeah. And I've been trying to break this one record in swimming, and I almost got it in one meet, and I was really nervous, super butterflies. And then I went to the next meet to try to break it, and I was focused on how cold it was in the air, and I was really not that nervous. And now looking back, I missed the record by much more in that one, and I did not have butterflies. So I really think butterflies make a big difference.
Yeah.
I think you need them.
I think it's something about your mindset that you want to do well, that you care.
So you're more, care.
Well, my second takeaway was, I loved his story about, you were asking about making it to many practices, and your practice schedule is early morning and then also midday at noon, which a lot of people have a hard time making to because of their jobs. But the story he told, which was just so impressive, was he made the case to his bosses or to his organization that he needed that for his wellness. And he wasn't going to take a lunch break. He was going to spend that time swimming, and he was going to come back and be more productive and be a better worker, better at his job for having done it. I think I like the assertiveness of it. I love just also that's true. That's true. And saying, hey, I need this. This is more important than food, and I'm going to be better for it. So I think that's I don't know, the takeaway for me there is, ask for what you need, especially when it's good for you.
Right. I totally agree with that. And the focus on wellness, we all are at some point working either for ourselves or someone else, but to share with your employer or with yourself how important a wellness program is in your productivity. Yes. So if it's a company you're working for, hey, I do need to take an hour to go to swim, and I'll make that hour up at some point, or I need to come into work late, or, and also most importantly, convincing yourself that,
that's right.
That you need to take this time. Cause we always say, whenever we stop to work out, we get more energy for the rest of the day versus just grinding it out. And your second one, again, Maria, there about him asking for work, again, ties into your first one, which is priorities.
Right.
Like the priority is to be healthy and be fit. So again, he was creating priorities.
Right.
Then my second one and our final one before we wrap here is that how, it's difficult to get up at 4:50 a.m. I do it, with him, and I meet him and all our other teammates on the pool deck. But the use of some kind of a boost is music.
Yeah.
And it's so like we forget that when we have to do tough things, if we're, going to put out our shoes and go out for a run early in the morning, or we've got to do something that we don't like, by adding something that we do like to it. This is called the bundling effect. So he's bundling music, something that is coffee. Tougher with, coffee and music, with waking up early. Those are things that, that champions do and that he does. So I love that bundling, music. And I
think he also bundles his enjoyment of talking to people. So he gets there early so that he can have that little bit of time before he's in the water to enjoy his teammates. So knowing yourself and knowing what you like and knowing what makes you, for me, that's a big thing too. It's like, I love to work out with a group. It makes such a difference. And you said that earlier when we were talking, that, you can grind out a practice all by yourself. You know how to do it, but it makes such a difference when there's people there.
Mark and I call it the conveyor belt. You just get on
the
conveyor belt and you go and you're done with practice. Yeah. So these are the takeaways. If you're just listening to the takeaway segment, we encourage you to go listen to the whole interview. It was really, really delightful. So, Maria, another one in the books. Thank you so much for being on this journey with me. I love you.
I love you too, Kelly. Thanks. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Champions Mojo podcast with host Kelly Palace and Maria Parker. Champions Mojo is produced by Cabra Media, and a new episode debuts every Tuesday. Subscribe wherever you listen to podcasts and leave us a 5-star review. Follow Champions Mojo on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook @Champions Mojo.